So start with the end in mind, and then if you were to go and build from there, would you look at I know you didn't get a loan for this business, but would you look at trying to get funding first? Would you look at talking to a logo designer from the beginning and saying, hey, give me some ideas for this, or I mean a manufacturer, distributor?
Well, the first thing I would find out, so let's just say, we're not going to say that you're doing clothing or whatever it is, but first find out whatever that business is that you're doing. Figure out what strengths do you have that contribute to that business. So, and what I mean by that is, let's just say you are doing a clothing line. Are you a graphic designer? If you're a graphic designer, you may be able to design your own logo. You may be able to design your own designs. So that's key. But say if you're not a graphic designer, you maybe need to outsource somebody. You need to reach out to companies like Fiverr and places like that. And because you need to make sure that you have content to build your brand. So find out what are your strengths that contribute to that brand. After that, I always tell people to figure out, in my personal opinion, figure out what it is that how the market will respond. How do you usually figure that out? You put some tests out there. For me, my first test run was 108 t-shirts, invested with $800 between me and some college friends. To be honest with you, just kind of like, hey, let's just do this. They was like, oh, sure, no problem. Just do it. No plan, literally nothing. But what that did was it solidified something I learned about people or consumers and humans. People wanted to be different. People really did want to do their own thing. And I didn't realize that at that point in time. Really, I was too young, but my original brand was called Simple and Plain, clothing design for those who live at their own pace. But nobody cared about that. I just had this logo, and people, no matter what the SP stood for, they gave it their own analogy. Oh, this stand for so pretty. Oh, this stand for South Park, or this stand for shit. Like literally everybody gave it their own definition. It was like they made it theirs. And so I didn't understand how to interpret that. I'm like, no, stands for Simple and Plain. But of course that didn't mean anything. But that right there was kind of one of the first underlying keys that I learned, like, okay, so people like the individuality and the creativity, and they want to stand out. So that was a lesson learned.
Okay, so we're going, so end in mind, get out, a sample, right? Or something, say, was it MVP, minimum viable product, the idea. So test out small before you go big with a lot of money. And then, once you've got a test and once you've got some feedback, where are you going from there?